What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Andrew and Zach with the NitPickCentral podcast. How are we all doing today? Today we are going to be talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania and kind of what we think is going to happen, how the movie is going to be, and kind of the overall state of the MCU and kind of where we're at right now, because there's been a lot going on over the past couple of years, especially with the wrap-up of Phase 4 and everything that has going on, plus of course, with Kang The Conqueror coming in with Phase 5 with this movie, there's a lot to talk about and speculate. So, yeah, we're just going to jump right into it. So,
go.
Opening thoughts for Quantumania, Zach. What are we thinking?
Well, there's a lot to unpack from most of the trailers.
Yeah.
So, I think it's going to be a big tone difference compared to all the other Ant-Man movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of them are kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. More like
they're more of like a
sitcom?
palate cleanser.
Yeah. If sitcoms are mostly like they have those laugh tracks and everything like that.
Yeah.
I feel like you could throw those in both Ant-Man movies and it would make the movie feel exactly the same.
Yeah. I kind of get that.
So and the Quantumania one that's coming out, there's a lot on the table at stake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like they've always been a palate cleanser in the sense that like after like a big like very important movie comes around, like they've been kind of like the ease down, like, you know what I'm saying, kind of like, so we're all the way up here, everything serious is going on, and then with Ant-Man they've been like, okay, let's bring it down a couple pegs, instead of saving the universe, we're just trying to get a case, or in the first Ant-Man, yeah. And in the first Ant-Man, instead of trying to stop the world from exploding because Ultron's deciding to drop a country on the planet, they're just
working at Baskin Robbins.
Yeah, working at Baskin Robbins.
You found out.
Baskin Robbins always finds out.
And trying to pull off a heist, basically. So
pretty much, yeah.
But yeah, this movie, not only for Ant-Man, but for the wider MCU, is going to be quite the change of pace, because instead of being the palate cleanser now, they're going to be the big, larger than life, oh my god, like the universe is at stake kind of thing. Because, I mean, in the trailers, Kang's army looks massive, and like we don't know if it's like other versions of himself that he's enslaved or something like that, throughout the multiverse, or if it's just like androids or robots or anything like that. But he's got quite the armada of like, just like he's got like laser ships, he's got soldiers, ground soldiers, like all of that kind of stuff. So like this is going to lead to the Kang Dynasty being like a pretty massive movie. Like what the overall quality will be, who knows, but I mean, just based off the trailers from Quantumania, I feel like the Kang Dynasty later down the line is going to be crazy, and it all starts with Ant-Man.
Yeah, dude. Like, we kind of got a splash, like maybe a drop of it in Loki, but that was a different variant of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, it was setting up for this movie. That's obviously what they were doing.
Right.
But good lord.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, Loki, he was more of like a happy-go-lucky kind of guy, kind of came off as a smartass a little bit, but at the same time, he was very, like, forthright with them, and kind of just laid out exactly what's going on, because, I mean, obviously, he wrote out, like, he basically already knew that they were coming to him, it was only a matter of when.
Exactly.
But after he crossed the threshold, which what that threshold is, we don't really know. A lot of people are thinking the threshold was when Wanda finally became the Scarlet Witch at the end of WandaVision. Like, those two scenes are concurrently going on. And, like, right as soon as she did become the Scarlet Witch, she's like,
You just crossed the threshold.
so, yeah, we see that guy. And then in the trailers for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, we see Kang shooting lasers from his hands. He's striking a deal with Ant-Man. He's like beating the crap out of Ant-Man, probably going to kill him. Also, side note, if Scott dies in this movie, I'm also probably going to jump off a cliff and die myself, because I don't want to live in a world where Scott Lang or Paul Rudd's Scott Lang's Ant-Man is not alive in the MCU. That's not a world I want to be in.
The theater to the ground.
This is mostly a protest. It is not generally speaking unruly, but fires have been started.
Just right to the ground. Down with the theater.
And then I'm going to start a riot, dude. It's going to be a long night.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude. It kind of looks like it's setting that kind of tone up, because obviously he gets beat up, and they've changed it in some of the trailers where there's not as much blood.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we got Cassie now, which has her own suit, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to work that in, because at least in the trailer, I mean, obviously we don't know what the sequence of events is, but in the trailer, they're in the lab, like, working on that thing, and they send the message down to the quantum realm, and then Michelle Pfeiffer's character is like, no, turn that off. And Cassie's in the room, and she's wearing, like, very casual clothes, and then later in the trailer, it cuts to her having, like, a purple, kind of like a Kate Bishop kind of suit, but more in the style of Ant-Man.
Yeah, and like what I was saying, it's kind of setting up to where if he does die, then it's probably going to be passing the mantle down to her.
Mm-hmm.
Since we've kind of had a handful of shows do that already, like with Hawkeye and She-Hulk, and I want to say Miss Marvel, but that one's kind of its own thing. Anyway, it's trying to phase in a younger group of Avengers, basically.
Yeah, because we've got Kate Bishop, America Chavez from Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, there you go. I knew I was forgetting one.
We got now Ironheart from Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Lady Thor, but I mean, she's dead now, so she's kind of like an asterisk.
Yeah.
Let's see, who else do we got? Obviously, Cassie Lang. And then there's one more I'm missing. Oh, Shuri. I mean, she's not necessarily new, but like she's like stepped into the role of Black Panther as of right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kind of phasing in a new group of people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of setting its way up to be that, but it better not, because we're gonna have an issue if I watch Scott Lang die on screen.
There's gonna be some problems. Like, just straight up, we might have a bit of an issue.
Like, this is before we've seen the film, and me and Andrew, we're gonna go watch it here. What, in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
In about 2 weeks from when this video, actually, probably about a week when this video comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And when we come back, we'll definitely give you our 2 cents. Kind of like we did with Avatar. But I swear to God, and you heard it here first, if Ant-Man dies, we're going to have a problem.
We're going to have some issues, guys. But kind of to circle back around, though, so in the trailer, one of the big like focal points that they're really hitting on is this deal between Scott and Kang. So I guess my question for you, Zach, is what do you think that deal is? Because like Kang, he's got the ability to like travel through time and possibly travel the multiverse, but we really don't know that for a fact as of right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if that is a thing he can do. And of course, he's got a lot of futuristic technology. He's got those laser gloves or whatever that he had in the trailer. So what could he not do that Scott Lang can? And like, why do you think he needs his help?
So why do you think he needs Scott's help? Or why do you think other way around?
Why do you think Kang needs Scott to help Kang out?
Okay. The main reason I think is because, well, obviously, he basically was like the bridge point in Avengers Endgame for time travel, because he was the one that kind of ran it by everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if Kang is stuck in the quantum realm and can't go anywhere, access different points in time like they did in Avengers Endgame. Obviously, he's going to need the guy that can. That would be, Scott Lang.
Right.
And I bet the deal is, and this could be up for debate. Obviously, Scott Lang is having a little bit of an issue after, Avengers Endgame because when he didn't actually get snapped out of existence. He got trapped in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
Lots of time has passed and he didn't, get to spend time with Cassie because she was like a little child last we saw, and now she's like a grown adult.
Right.
And I bet the deal is, help me do this. I'll help you go back and, start from here instead of having to, be trapped in the quantum realm and miss 5 years.
Right.
But I think Kang needs help traveling through time, and the only person to do that is Scott.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, something you have to imagine too, like I think a lot, like not only was Scott like trapped in the quantum realm like after Infinity War or whatever, but like even before that, like when Cassie was really young, he got arrested for a good while, and then I forgot exactly how long, but he was arrested, and on top of that, he was divorced, which meant he had to trade, like she had to go from his house to her mom's, like off and on. So he's missed a lot of time with her. So with Kang being able to give him more time, like that's got to be something that he's like, oh yeah, for sure. Like, why would I not do that?
Exactly. And I feel like there's more to it that he's not telling. You know what I mean? Like in the fine print of the deal.
Right.
And obviously, I think they shake on it because if they did or they didn't, we probably wouldn't get the end result that we see in the trailer with all the fighting and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Like for sure, it's gonna go sideways, or Kang's gonna try to pull a fast one, and Scott's gonna be like, no.
It's literally like Loki. You can't shake his hand without, him stabbing you in the back.
Right.
So obviously Kang is gonna do that, and there's got to be at least some sort of inclusion with Loki at some point in this
That would
movie.
be dope. That would be really sick.
Like
Because we haven't seen Loki on screen, like in a movie since Endgame. But
yeah.
even then, that was technically the Loki that we knew back from 2012. So if you really want to get technical with it, we haven't seen the reformed like Loki that we all really know and love, that we've grown up with since Infinity War. So that's kind of bonkers to think about.
Yeah. Well, and now he's kind of like a Men in Black character. He shows up at the scene of the crime at everything with the TVA. I mean, that's kind of how it is now. But they can time travel. But at the end of Loki, you got to think the statue was of this Kang that we're seeing in Quantumania. So is he in a whole nother timeline, or is he in this one? I guess the TVA doesn't really exist in a certain time period. It exists
they exist like outside of time because they went to like the timekeepers, I guess. And I haven't seen Loki in a while, but
Me either.
they went to the timekeepers, and then I think. Oh wait, no, because they both pruned themselves to get to that little like pocket dimension, and then they used Goliath to get
time.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll need to watch Loki again before Quantumania comes out. Honestly, but kind of to circle back around, something that makes me think that, like, about this deal with Scott and Kang. Like, just because, like, right off the rip, like, when they're making the deal, I mean, like we said before, we haven't seen the movie, and we don't know the sequence of events, but based off the trailer, it looks like Kang kind of already has the ability to manipulate time, because right off the rip, he's saying, yeah, like, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you, and this thing I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you more time with your daughter and with your family.
Yeah.
So like, and I just gotta wonder, like, how long has this variant of Kang been in the quantum realm, and like, how has he amassed this big of a army? Like, did he travel the multiverse, or did he go through different periods of time to just pick up variants of himself to be like ground soldiers or whatever? Or I'm just very interested to see like what led up to him actually being in the quantum realm and then receiving that message from I think it was Michael Douglas's character.
Well, to be fair with you, sorry to cut you off there.
No, you're good.
I don't think Kang gets the message. I think Bill Murray's character does, because he's in the quantum realm as well. And I did a little bit of digging before we came to, this video. He's actually a scientist that found a way to go into the quantum. I don't remember his name, but found a way, kind of like Ant-Man, to go into the quantum realm, and then he got stuck there as well. And how much you want to bet he was the one that found the signal, and then something Kang found out.
Yeah, I actually totally forgot about that. Oh my god, because I don't even think Bill Murray's in the most recent trailer, like the one that they showed off during that NBA game.
In the first trailer.
Yeah.
And I think it's Bill Murray found out, Ant-Man and them arrived, something, Kang found out they're here, and then, the deal that you're thinking of happens. So, but then again, I don't know what Bill Murray's character is in this movie, because Modoc, let's talk about that for a second. Modoc obviously is in this movie, which is going to be bonkers, but his origin for this movie is drastically different than the comics, I feel like. And this is kind of a stretch, but I feel like they kind of did a little bit of foreshadowing of it in Loki, now that we're talking about Loki.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, when they go to the end of time, when they prune themselves, the Wasp's helmet is fucking huge.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and you saw how he died in Ant-Man, he just kind of, shrunk. He might have gotten stuck in the quantum realm in that big old head of his.
Yeah.
So, that was a little bit of foreshadowing, I think, from Loki teasing, his appearance. But I mean, I don't know how it's going to happen.
Yeah. Like when I first saw the trailer, I didn't really see it, but after you pointed it out, after we talked, I can't unsee it now, and like I would be very surprised if that's not what they do, because like even if you pause that moment in the trailer where you can clearly see his big like enlarged face, it looks a lot like Darren Cross or whatever that guy's name was. So I would be very surprised if that's not what they go with. But
like drastically different story for Modoc, but I'm digging it, because I don't know how he became the way he did in the comics, because there's so many different iterations of him across everything that each story is slightly different. This one is completely different.
Yeah.
From what I'm imagining, unless it isn't.
Yeah.
It's the exact same story, but for some reason Modoc's there, so it's aight. Let him cook.
Yeah. Hold up. Let him cook. But I guess kind of a bonus question for you. So, do you think that this Modoc will somehow travel back to the current MCU and kind of join forces with AIM, and then we'll see kind of like AIM kind of come back into the limelight? Because we've barely seen AIM in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but like AIM in the comics is like a huge power player, and I'm pretty sure Modoc comes from AIM.
He does.
So I'd be very surprised if they don't somehow like tie him back to our universe, and then we see him later down the road in like Armor Wars or whatever that movie's going to be about with what's his face, War Machine.
Oh, Don Cheadle. Yeah. What's his name? Brody. Yeah, Brody.
I like Brody though. Brody.
I hope they bring back what's his name from Iron Man 2, now that we're on that subject.
Don't tell me. It's...
I'm going to have
Oh, man. How are we blanking on this right now?
because we watched the movie when we were trying to do it, and we're like, yes, this guy needs to come back.
Oh, my God. He's... Oh, my God. Justin Hammer.
I don't know if you know this, but I don't speak Russian!
Justin Hammer.
Yes.
Yes.
Sam Rockwell's Justin Hammer.
Yes.
Make an appearance at some point.
If not AIM being the villain for Armor Wars, it's gotta be Justin Hammer. Please. We need more Justin Hammer.
Yes. Because he was in just like a little I almost said Mandalorian. Mandarin short, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Like one of those Marvel one-shots. He was in there for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, he was in there as a cameo, like in the prison, I think, like in the
Yeah.
lunchroom or something.
Yup. So he needs to find it. That better be the like main villain. If not, Modoc needs to. For some, like, I feel like he might just be one of those one-off characters just for this film.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason we might not ever see him again.
That would
Because
be a shame.
We've had a lot of those, like the Ironmonger from the first Iron Man. Never seen him again.
Right.
He also did die, but
Yeah. Kind of fell into an arc reactor.
yeah, yikes.
Yikes.
I mean, they could totally do like a Spider-Man Far From Home type of scenario where they recall back to the beginning of the MCU, like they did with some of the Iron Man characters. They could definitely do, unless, like you said, Modoc somehow time travels. But I don't know. I feel like that'd be kind of a cheap move if they did that.
Yeah.
I feel like he should stay in the in and now and just go from different multiverse universes of the MCU, but not time travel, because we kind of played with that in game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of which, that kind of perfectly transitions to what I was gonna bring up next. With Quantumania kicking off Phase 5, and eventually it's gonna lead us to the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. When do you think Marvel is going to try to clear the air when it comes to what is time travel and what is multiversal travel? Because they keep mixing the two together depending on what project comes out. Because they use the terms like universe, dimension, reality, and timeline interchangeably, like they're the same thing, when in reality they are very, very different things. And like
definitely different. Yeah,
they keep like messing with the rules to make each individual story, but each individual story is contradicting one another. So do you think they're gonna try to kind of lay all of that out with Quantumania, or do you think that's going to be something that's explained later down the line in like Loki season 2?
In all honesty, I think they're going to explain it in Secret Wars, probably. That's a little bit late,
right?
But I think they're going to do that, because when does Loki season 2 come out? This year?
Yeah, I think it comes out like in the summer, I think.
And to be fair with you, I don't know if they're even going to touch on it. I think they're going to use pretty much the same formula they did in the first one to bridge into Secret Wars and the Kang Dynasty with different, iterations of Kang.
Right.
I don't know if they'll do I mean, they might, but I don't think they're going to do any multiversal stuff. But then again, I don't know.
I mean, this is the Multiverse Saga, so anything is possible.
Yeah, I mean, so far the only good multiverse movie that Marvel has pumped out is obviously Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, without a doubt.
All the other ones that they've been trying to do either haven't even talked about it and completely ignored the fact that, oh yeah, there's a multiversal scenario going on right now. Or, like you said, time travel.
Yeah. Yeah, like at least for me, like the fact that I'm confused and like I
Oh, I'm
follow
so
a lot of
lost,
people
yeah.
on like social media and I follow a lot of people on like YouTube and like even like they like who are probably smarter than me, I wouldn't doubt it, but they're probably like they're just as confused as me because like I said, they keep Marvel keeps using the same or like four different words and they're acting like it's the same thing when they're really not. So
Yeah.
at least for me, if it were like if Kevin Feige said, you know what, Andrew, we need we need something to kind of wrap this up. So I need you to lay out what time travel is, what multiversal travel is, and all of that kind of stuff. If it were me, I would definitely try to wrap that up before even the Kang Dynasty and kind of
Same, yeah.
lay all that out. So when the big event movies come, everyone, like, even the most like what is it called? Like even the most casual viewer can like clearly know, okay, this is what traveling the multiverse is. This is what traveling through time is, and their weird way of time travel that Endgame set up. And this is what traveling through different realities like the dark dimension is, you know? Like I just
Yeah.
feel like that would be a lot better not only for us as viewers but for the story itself, so we're not so wrapped up in like what the rules are. We can just enjoy the movie for what it is.
Yeah, because like the phase before this, you know, like from Iron Man all the way up to Endgame, it had a pretty clear threat.
Mm-hmm.
It was Thanos, that was it. From
Yeah.
all of them, all the way from, I mean, we kind of got introduced to him in Avengers. Or no, it was it at the end of Thor: The Dark World, like as a post-credit scene or something, or Guardians of the Galaxy, one of those two. And that was where it was really set in stone because then Avengers came out and that's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the main threat was that guy. And then at the end it paid off. But then again, they could do like what they did with Avengers Endgame where me personally, I kind of heard rumors that the movie was going to be about time travel,
Mm-hmm.
but for a casual viewer that, you know, obviously doesn't look at any of that, that
Yeah.
time travel thing was a definite out of left field
Oh
type of deal.
yeah, for
You know what I
sure.
mean? They could do like what you were talking about in Kang Dynasty probably, and I
Mm-hmm.
could see doing that,
Yeah.
but that would be a little bit too late because as of right now, I am so lost with their direction in
Mm-hmm.
this next phase. I mean, hopefully Ant-Man kind of clears it up and maybe Loki, but Doctor Strange didn't really do it for me. I mean, it kind of gave me an idea of what we expect for multiversal travel, but
Mm-hmm.
other than that, I'm still lost.
Yeah. Yeah, like I just think the like if they really want to make sure they hit the ground running with these next two Avengers movies that are supposed to be huge, and like if Kevin Feige said that they want these next few movies, at least Secret Wars at minimum, to be bigger than Avengers Endgame, which is a tall freaking order because that movie was insanely hyped up and everyone across the world was excited for it. Like there wasn't a stone you could unturned and not see Avengers Endgame somewhere.
Yeah, that movie was huge.
Yeah, so I just feel like it would be better overall for not only the movies but for the audience, so it can just be a lot more clear. But
Exactly.
yeah. But yeah, like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, I'm super hyped for it. I'm sure Zach, you feel just as hyped. Like there's a lot going
Excited.
on. There's a lot riding on this movie, like we've been saying, and it's just a big change of pace from what the Ant-Man franchise is, and I think it's going to be a welcome change not only for the Ant-Man franchise but also for the wider MCU as a whole. But
Agreed.
I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. I think we had a pretty good discussion today. So go ahead and drop a comment down below what you think is going to happen in
Oh,
Ant-Man and the Wasp:
oh,
Quantumania.
before we log out of here, we will be coming at you with a second Ant-Man movie. We obviously haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah.
We're very hyped to see it. But between then and now, on our Twitter page, we'll have a link down in the description. We're going to hold a poll and vote
Yes.
on what movie we should do next. We're going to take a gander at some movie But
right.
we honestly, we have no idea. We have so many movies we want to look at. So we need a little bit of help from both, not only you guys, families and friends, whoever's watching. Definitely go, vote on what movie we should do next, because we've only done Captain America. That's
Yeah.
kind of lame. We need more movies under our belt.
Yeah, I mean, we don't just do Marvel. I mean, we'll do DC, we'll do Star Wars, we'll do Jurassic Park, we'll do Transformers, we'll do National Treasure. Whatever you think it would be best for us to do, let us know, and we'll definitely think about it, and we'll see what we can do.
Agreed.
Yeah, but other than that, I think that's all we got for you guys today. So like I said, drop a comment down below. Tell us what you think Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is going to entail. How hyped are you for it? And what you think is going to happen, not only in this movie, but what this movie is going to be and what this movie is going to mean for the wider MCU after it's all said and done. So
Definitely run that by us in the comments. Let us know what you think is going to happen. And on a scale of 1 to 10, let us know how hyped you are.
yeah, absolutely. So down in the description, you can follow us on our socials. Again, you can follow us on our Twitter, so you can get access to that poll and vote and see what we should do next. And then all of our other socials, like to our Instagram, our Spotify, Apple Podcast, all of that is down there. So if you want to follow us on all those different platforms, definitely do that. And yeah, I think that's all we got for you guys. This has been Andrew and Zach with the NitPickCentral podcast, and we are signing out.
Does anyone have any orange slices?